second lesson is about the states of matter. As we study, matter has three main states: solid, liquid, and gaseous state. If we look to this pool, we find that it has a definite shape and a definite volume, whatever it exists. The second state is the liquid state. You have here some water. It takes the shape of this beaker, and if you remove it to this conical flask, its shape changes, but the volume is the same. We can measure the volume here and then measure the liquid here. We find that the volume doesn't change. Liquid have definite volume and indefinite shape. And the gaseous state, you always play with different shapes of balloons. The air inside this balloon takes its shape, and so as the air here. It takes the shape and so the volume of the container. So the liquid has definite volume and indefinite shape. Solid has definite shape, definite volume. Gaseous has indefinite shape and indefinite volume. They take the shape and volume of container. Our third lesson is about chemical changes and physical changes. At first, if we get this sugar, this salt, it has definite shape and volume. We can dissolve it in water, and by stirring or checking water, we observe that it disappears. But by testing its test, we find that it has the same structure. It has a salty taste, and the sugar as well. Dissolving sugar, dissolving salt, dissolving any substance into water keep its properties. So we can say that it is physical change. And cutting paper, if you cut some papers, you find that its shape only change. If you look to this candle, you observe that the candle wax begins to melt, and if you turn it off, you find that it freezed again, solidified again. So melting is a physical change. Melting butter, melting sugar, melting any substance is considered physical change. And then if you get the same sugar and we put it into this burning spoon for a while over flame, after a while you observe it begins to burn. Take a while. It begins to burn here. If you observe, it begins to change in shape. By continuing heating, you observe it begins to burn, its color change, its structure also. It begins to be a new substance, different from sugar. It produces a new substance. It has different structure. If you let it till it cooled, you find that its structure is different. Its taste is become different. Transfer to other activity. Here we have different samples of substances. If you look here, you find that this metal has a metallic luster. And this one that made of copper, it has a metallic luster. So copper is metal. If you look to this, it is carbon or graphite rod. It doesn't have a metallic luster. And here we have sulfur, a powder sulfur. It's non-metal that doesn't have a luster. And metals characterized by the high melting point, while non-metals have low melting point. If we put this one over flame for few seconds, we observe that it begins to melt. It melts if you observe within few seconds. So non-metals have low melting points. And if we examine them in electric conduction, we find that our electric connecting wires made of copper, which is a good conductor of electricity. If you examine it, you find that it is good conductor of electricity. And if we examine any other metal, we find that it is a good conductor too. The lamp lights here. And also in case of carbon, which is the only non-metal